Go ahead and close your eyes if you can. Relaxing your forehead, unclench your jaw, and relax your shoulders away from your ears. We're going to take a nice deep inhale together through the nose, filling your lungs, filling your diaphragm, and exhale out your mouth, letting go. We're going to take another deep breath in through your nose, filling up your diaphragm, really filling up your lungs this time. And at the top, holding for a moment before the exhale. And exhale out the mouth, letting go. If your eyes were closed, go ahead and open them up. Welcome to Mindful Moves with me, your host, Daniela Jensch. I am very excited to speak about today's topic. I think that with festive season, I think that with people in family settings more and having a lot more on their plates than usual, I would say, this is a fitting theme. And today we're going to speak about slowing down and why that can feel so deeply uncomfortable. And especially, I am someone, you've probably heard this in the podcast, I focus on nervous system regulation. I want your system to slow down. I want you to feel that calm. I want you to feel rest, relaxation. However, there's something that people don't speak about, which is the feelings that can come up when you try to rest, the guilt and the shame when you can't, the association of being busy and producing with your value. And so that's what we're going to focus on a little bit today, because I think that a lot of us were taught, or not even directly taught to us, but maybe maybe we observed in our immediate circles, whether it was our caretakers or our friends or our family or our friends' families or whatever it may be, you start absorbing things a lot from a young age. And so often we see so much value associated with success. And success often looks like being very busy, being very productive, utilizing your time as efficiently as possible. And so a lot of us grew up with a sense of thinking that I had to perform and do to be valuable. But this episode is also just going to remind you that you will never feel that sense of value through doing. It's just not how it works. We are intrinsically valuable humans and of worth just by existing and just being, and you don't need to do more. I know that people so often will think, we were put onto this earth, we need to achieve certain things to feel happy and accomplished inside, but that's just not the case. And the sooner you learn that, the sooner you're actually going to enjoy the journey that you're on, instead of just trying to focus on what you're trying to achieve, right? This doesn't have to only be big things. It can look like constantly, being busy in the home. Maybe you're constantly busy and always giving your time to every single person except for yourself. And that's why slowing down, it's a very common, it's not just my advice. A lot of people will be like, prioritize your rest, get your rest in, relax a little bit. And for someone who feels guilt and shame for doing that, it feels almost impossible. And that's why I want to give you the tools. I'm going to speak about 4 steps that you can help bridge that gap for you. And we're going to dive right in, because I think you know exactly what I'm speaking about. You know that feeling. If you have this in your life, you'll know what I'm talking about, that guilt and that shame that you're not being the best possible version of yourself, which is what you've created in your head. And that's the story you're telling yourself. And therefore, your body will feel like that. So, how are we going to combat that? Number 1, I want you to slow down. Now, I know that you're going to think, you just said that I can't do that and it makes me feel uncomfortable. So, how do you expect me to do that? Well, you are going to be slowing down in the sense that we don't want to jump the gap. We don't want to go from someone who is constantly busy and in motion to someone who meditates 3 hours a day, because that's just not possible. And so often, in your life, you've set these high standards and goals and achievements. And when you don't get close, or even when you do get close, it's still not good enough. So don't do this again. Our method is going to be slowing down your actions. So you're not going to try and take out what you're doing. You're going to continue living your life. You're going to continue doing what you do. If that means you wake up in the morning and from the morning until the evening, you are constantly busy doing something, that's all good and well. What we're going to focus on is slowing those moments down. Can you, when you're cleaning, slow it down? When you're walking somewhere from your car into the shop to go grocery shopping, can you slow down your walk? Can you take a breath while you're doing it? Can you speak slower? Can you, in an environment where everyone's talking, it is busy, it's holiday time, when your whole family is, sometimes it's very overstimulating. There's a lot of people talking at once. Can you pause where you're sitting and take a breath and just listen? These small micro moments are going to teach your system that you don't always have to be on. You can also just take, even if it's 30 seconds, of just being there, just existing. And what that's going to show you is immediately signaling to your body, hey, nervous system, slowing this down. There's no high speed chase right now. We are safe. We are good. And that's the most simple tip I can give you, is just to slow down your regular actions. You don't need to stop doing anything, because I find that it's very difficult to tell someone, oh, you need to stop everything that you've done your whole life and then become this other human. It's very difficult. We want to close that gap. And this leads me to point number 2. Step 2 is going to be simply carving out a moment of the day that has no associated outcome. And what I mean by that is, often we get told you need to, rest. Maybe you need to learn how to take a nap, or stop cleaning this and sit on the couch and relax. But sometimes that can feel like pressure as well. That's where the guilt and the shame comes from. And how you can overcome this and how best to settle into this is by taking any association out of it. You are not going to go and sit and be off your phone and completely relaxed and stress free as an outcome. Because even thinking about that, when you think to yourself, okay, I need to do something so that I get the outcome of being less stressed, of being more calm, of relaxing, that's again pressure, which is what we don't want. We want to avoid that. So, can you carve out intentional time, mindful time of, it can be 5 minutes, it can be 10. Maybe you just stand outside and you just look into nature. Maybe you sit with your cup of tea and you don't have your phone with you. And don't predict the outcome. It might make you feel uncomfortable, but then you just accept whatever comes up. If you are going to tell yourself, if I go with my cup of tea and I sit and I don't have my phone, I'm going to feel so calm, that's already putting an association of the outcome. Do something where you open your mind to whatever comes up. Allow yourself to have anything come up, whatever it may be. Maybe there's nothingness. Maybe you're completely bored. Maybe it's hard to sit outside for 5 minutes and you feel a bit irritated. That's okay. Don't judge it. Sit with it. Sit with whatever it is. Maybe you just have no thoughts. Maybe you have no feelings. Great. You are basically increasing the bandwidth of your nervous system. You're teaching it through these tiny moments that it's safe, and whatever comes up for your body is safe. There's no prejudgment on what comes up. Because if you go into this and you think to yourself, oh, okay, I'm going to be stress free, and then you become agitated, you get agitated that you're agitated. And that's just not what we're looking for. We're looking for ways to retrain through these tiny moments and explain through action that we are safe to our nervous systems, because we talk to each other, right? And that's step number 2. Now, step number 3 ties perfectly into these other two, right? And it's called the buffer zone. When you are trying to go from, let's say, doom scrolling for 3 hours, and let's be honest, if any one of you has done that, I'm sure we all have, you feel at the end of that scroll, you feel very up. You feel hyped up. You don't feel a sense of calm. You feel there's a lot going on. That's how I feel. I think it's normal, and it's just how the brain works. And so when you say to yourself, okay, it's been 3 hours of doom scrolling. I've been wanting to read my book all day. Actually, it's a goal of mine. I want to read my book. It makes me actually feel relaxed. And you try and go from doom scrolling to reading your book immediately. How do you think that that's going to pan out? If you've ever been driving in a car and it's been going at 130 kilometers per hour, you can't decide in that very moment, okay, I'm going from 130 kilometers down to 0 and I'm going to be parked in a parking lot. You can't do that. How do you get from a high mileage down slow and into a parking? If you're driving a manual car, you gear down. You take it one step at a time. You are going to slow down enough, fourth gear, third gear, second gear. You're going to look for parking and you're going to find the parking and you're going to park. And this is what's so important with this, is that what you're doing is creating a buffer. So if you've been doom scrolling for 3 hours, what could you put as a buffer before you might read later? Because there's no rush. This is what we're trying to teach our system, is that we're not going to jump into things out of guilt and shame. Oh, I've been doom scrolling, I need to read my book. We're not going to do that. We're simply not. So what buffer could you create? Could you perhaps put on your earphones and listen to some music while you gently and slowly tidy up the house, or fold laundry, or simply listen to music and close your eyes on the couch if you can? Or you sit in frog's pose and you stretch out your hips because they've been a bit tight. Whatever you can do as a buffer, go on a 10-minute walk. It doesn't have to be a long thing. It could really be 30 seconds. You could listen to your favorite song, half of your favorite song if you choose, if you can't do the full one. And then your body is going to learn, okay, we're not at 120 kilometers right now. We've slowed down a lot. I'm in this space now to read. Because a lot of the time we are trying to jump from one extreme to another, because it is an extreme, extreme difference to go from doom scrolling to reading. It's huge on your system. And as so often we are associating guilt and shame with that as well. It's just naturally what comes up. So create a buffer. That's number 3. It's huge. Been a game changer for me, because I don't try to jump these steps, because I learn that I very much am like a car. I need to gear down. I need to slow down before I can come to a halt and do something there's always going to be different little layers. And so buffer, that's what you need to do. Number 4, and this is something that I feel very passionately about, is work with your subconscious brain. The subconscious part of your brain is like a sponge. It has been a sponge your entire life. That is why you have certain beliefs. That's why you have certain thoughts and feelings. It's because we have absorbed our entire lives, whether it's a caretaker, someone we look up to, role models, anything, friends, family. You have soaked it all in. And so it wasn't a conscious effort. It was soaked in because that's how your subconscious brain works. That's why we have a skyrocketing amount of kids, especially, and adults whose mental health is tanking, because we are chronically online and we don't consciously see the effect it has, but our subconscious brain is taking all of that in. It's going from high to low on social media, even in a tiny 20-minute window of scrolling. And so we could focus on that. We could focus on, oh, well, it's really bad. My brain has absorbed so many things, and subconsciously I've already got my beliefs, done, dusted. We're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on the positive side of your subconscious brain, which is that you get to feed it information. You get to rewire it. You get to send it all these beautiful signals. So use that to your advantage. A great example that works very well in my life, what this looks like. If instead of waking up, because we all have busy days, we all have a lot on our to-do list. Nobody is unique. Nobody has it different, whether it's emotional baggage, whether it's operational things that you need to get done, an admin list, pain, suffering, whatever it may be. And so when we wake up, it's very likely that many people wake up and go straight into doing, because we have so much to do on our list. And so sometimes that looks like grabbing your phone and checking your emails when you wake up, or going straight onto social media because maybe you're having a really tough time and that just distracts you from everything. So what about creating now? We're going to use all of the last 3 tips that I've just given you. We're going to slow down. We're going to maybe take a little intentional breath. It can be that small, just a breath. And we're going to create a buffer. So what about using this time to, there's so many free apps nowadays. I'll link maybe below my favorite one on Inside Timer. You can put on a guided meditation. So often I don't want you to like lose me here, because often people think, okay, you want me to meditate. No, I want you to listen to things that are uplifting. I want you to listen to things that align with the type of life and person you want to be. For example, sometimes it's very difficult to go from every morning you've been waking up checking your emails to completely not touching your phone. So we again going to be softer with ourselves. How can we bridge that gap? Well, you can still pick up your phone. You're going to go straight to the insight timer though. So you still get that like hit from picking up your device, because it is a hit to your body. You're going to get that, and you're going to go straight to your insight timer app or whichever app you choose, and you're going to go to your favorite meditation. There are 5-minute meditations, there are 2-minute ones, there are 10 minutes ones, there are 20-minute ones. It depends on where you're at. Work with yourself. There is no reason you need to start with a 1-hour meditation in bed. If 20 minutes feels too long, go for 2. Work your way up, right? You don't need to start at the finish line. Go ahead and click on that, and you do not need to meditate in this time. Now, it sounds funny, but all I want you to do is listen, is be there. Lie in bed however long you chose before you start your day. And something I like to listen to, like I said, I'll link it below. I like to listen to health affirmations. So I like to listen to how healthy my body is, how much I'm thriving, how all the cells in my body are shining and happy like glowing sunshines. Because I cannot go into my day thinking that the world is doom and gloom when I've listened to that. Somehow it hits something. That's when I'm consciously listening. But it's been so many days of waking up and doing that that I finally believe that, if that makes sense. And so I urge you, you do not need to listen to every word, but play it in the background in your buffer time. Work with your subconscious brain and start absorbing beliefs around the type of life and person you want to be. If you want to be healthy, if you want to be successful, if you want to be calm, if you want to be anything, if you want your life to look a certain way, because you are allowed to choose. You are allowed to have anything that you'd like. You just need to put in these small and consistent moments in your day. So, what I'm trying to teach you in this episode is don't wait until you have a long holiday to relax, quote unquote. Because if you can make these micro moments happen in your day, you are going to have a life that feels calm. You should not have to wait until those holidays. You should not have to wait until Saturdays. You can create these tiny micro moments in your day, and your entire life will feel that slowed down feeling that I'm talking about. And you will be rewriting words in your head that have stuck with you for so long. The guilt and the shame aspect that I spoke about in the beginning of the episode. Maybe you listen to an affirmation about your self-worth and that you deserve rest. Maybe you rewire that part of your brain. We have access to so many beautiful tools, and I just wanted to remind you that you can do this in a slow and sustainable way. You do not need to jump from one extreme to another. So I'm going to recap the 4 steps. Number 1, slow down your actions, whatever you're doing. Number 2, create an intentional moment, whether it's even just a few breaths, with no expectation of the outcome. Don't expect the breaths to make you feel calm. Just do them because you've created the space for yourself. Number 3, which ties into the last 2, create a buffer zone. You cannot go from one extreme to another. So create that buffer that works for you. And number 4, use and work with the power of your subconscious mind. Work with it, teach it things, let stuff play in the background. Be mindful. All of these are just going to teach you to be mindful and do little micro check-ins with yourself constantly. And then you're going to teach yourself longevity, emotional longevity. You're going to teach yourself physical longevity. You're going to look after yourself over an elongated period of time and not just when you're hitting a wall. So I hope that these help. If they have helped, please let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to go and listen to a meditation. Feel free to watch another episode. At the end of the day, your support means so much, and I hope that the value provided, I hope that the value resonates with you, and it helps so much when you share and when you, just do whatever you can do with this episode. So, wishing you a beautiful day, and remember that the light that you're constantly seeking outside of yourself is just waiting to be acknowledged within. Have a beautiful week. I'll see you next week. Bye.